What is going on, guys? Today we're looking at all of the fullbacks and going and ranking which ones you should have and which ones should be on your wish list. So we have got a decent amount to go through, and there is a lot of different prices when it comes to fullbacks. And I must admit, right backs seem to be more on the harder end to rate than it is on the left backs. Obviously, we do have the team of the years. I don't think there's any question with them that they are all going to be S+. I think they've done really, really well this year in team of the year rating-wise, because stat-wise they were so far above. The only problem is nobody can afford them, or if you can afford them, you've just got more coins than me by an absolute landslide, because even now, we're looking at these fullbacks and they are coming in. You've got Battle coming in at 1.2, respectable. Even Sakina now, 1.2 as well. But if you were looking at the kind of more favorited two, Hernandez and also Frimpong, 2.5 and 3.7. Now, they have dropped in the last kind of month, give or take a couple of weeks, but they were all up at 5-6 million coins each, which is just nuts. Now they're starting to down tools a little bit. Granted, we have got potentially team of the season coming in the next 2 weeks, and there is already rumours going around we're going to see the triple Playstyle Plus. That hasn't been announced yet, so we will see how that goes, but it would follow the theory that we can get a triple and also a quadruple on the actual card. The way I'd think that it wasn't going to happen is if when people did that evolution, kind of, wasn't really a glitch, but kind of cheated the system a little bit in terms of being able to get it. It wouldn't show up on the card, it would be bugged. It means it's been it's like it's been set already. It's like a preset already in the card. If they were to have 3, it pops up. If they were to have 4, it pops up. The one we haven't seen is if they have 5. At one point, if they don't have it on the card, that's when I see them being not able to go to that number. If you get what I mean. Or if they could just keep going and just make a crazy card at footers. Imagine a 12 playstyle plus centre-back Virgil. It'd just be interesting to see what would actually happen. So they have been absolute top of the game. I have no arguments with them. Ferland Mendy, one of his best years. Genuinely, I don't know the last time we saw so many Mendys before footies. He's had himself a Centurions, which put himself into a decent standpoint already. I must admit, with the price of that one, I think the gold was just more than suffice. Then obviously you had the Dynasties as well at 87. Again, I'm like where are all these cards coming from? Ferland Mendy being loved everywhere. Then they give him this fantasy card. He ends up getting some upgrades, 93 at 6 million coins. Crazy card. He's a 4-star, 5-star as well. Maxed out pace, 95 on the physical. It's just an unbelievable left back. We do have some cheaper ones as well. Now, I was kind of thinking, how do I even go about these? Because even though when we look at somebody like a Gossens, in terms of stat-wise, it's not the worst. Like 86, 88 in the defending physical. Great pace, good shooting, good passing, good dribbling. It's not the worst card, but when it comes down to it, who are you going to choose? Are you going to choose one of the Gossens, or are you going to choose a Reece James? Are you going to choose a Theo Hernandez? What is the kind of point there? Because I do think when it comes to fullbacks, it really depends on what you prefer as a fullback. Do you like overlapping? Do you like a stay back? Somebody that can tackle? Somebody that's incredibly quick? Physical? Is it down to the playstyle plus? There's a lot of factors, especially with fullbacks, dependent on your playstyle. Whereas with a centre-back, I think for me, and I can imagine a lot of people are very similar, lengthy is normally the best shout in terms of acceleration. I love the anticipate, I love the aerial. Slide tackles started to become more of a fan of. Ever since I got Maldini, it definitely has become one that I'm actually more equipped for. So they're kind of like my ballpark figures. When it comes to the playstyle pluses with a fullback, I don't really know what I like. I kind of just get what I'm given, basically. Because yes, jockey is always a nice one. I do like to jockey on the outside if they play outside. A block is always nice. Maybe even a cheeky slide tackle. I don't know if I'd need rapid or any sort of actual running playstyle plus, because really I don't need to be running too much. I'm kind of not having to sprint past everybody as is a defender. I'm not a big fan of overlapping unless it's not in that natural position. I'm not going to push Reece James over the top just because he's got a whipped pass, because then you're just exposing the defense in itself. So I tend to keep the fullbacks back. So really, I just need somebody who can tackle and get the ball back. And maybe, yes, a long ball pass could be a nice one. Get the ball up the pitch. Maybe an incisive pass could be a nice one for that passing aspect, or a pinged pass. So it is all dependent on your opinion. So let me know down below, what is your style of fullbacks? Overlapping, tackling, passing the ball, dribbling with the ball. What is your fullback mentality? If I was to go Reece James, I think in terms of a right back, he's up there. He is the most statted right back in the game. I could argue that maybe he kind of is more down here. He is, I think, very good for the price, and that kind of just outshines the card in itself. 180k for this card is crazy, like genuinely crazy. A 91 Prem English right back. The tax should be 400 at a minimum, and yet he's still at 180. Big props for there. If I was looking at someone like Gosens, then I think Frankowski would kind of come underneath him. I think then when we look at a few others, when we look at now a Klaus, I don't see him as good as what he was previously. Very good pace on him, and that was kind of the selling point for a lot of these players. They had that pace which was always perfect to start with, but it was never the end goal. You needed something else to keep him going. It's kind of like Trent. He may not have the greatest defensive ability, but when it comes to slotting into that passing role, he does it really well. I'm not a big fan of the Trent card. I do like him more as a shapeshifter centre mid, but that again goes down to preferences. When we look at somebody like Lodi, Lodi's the big one. I think he was a fantastic SBC in terms of that side of stuff. Brilliant. Like, if you got that card right at the start, he got to the 88, you've had yourself a very good SBC for what he cost. I really don't think he was that much. I want to say like 80k. 88,000 for the 88 that you've got now. Very good card, but even then I would have said he's kind of S. He's slowly coming down now to the point where I'm like, he could be considered lower, because realistically a 4-star 3-star slide tackle plus, which is nice, good pace, defending physical 85 83. It's not as impressive now when we've got somebody like a Gosens. If we were to compare him, you've got the pace already, so 91, 92, it's not a problem. 88 physical, swamps Lodis. Defending 86 versus 85. He's already got the shooting, passing and dribbling as well as good as Lodi, but then also he's got a 5-star weak foot. The arguments there are massive, and to be honest, you could argue that maybe the kind of 5-star skiller Gosens would be down more, because the weak foot for me as a defender is way more important. I could happily take a 0 skill move and have a 5-star weak foot rather than the other way around. For a defender, the weak foot for me is more important than anything. When we look at Bellerin, very good card in himself. Arguably, because he's free, again, you would be looking higher, and it's kind of like the Reece James effect. You'd want to put him in that S+ because of the price, but if you was looking at the exact card as well, I don't think he's the S+ material in comparison to somebody like a Frimpong. When it comes to Bellerin, 3-star, 5-star again, got a lovely weak foot, whipped pass, quick step. Like I said, it's an overlapper's dream. Maybe if he had the 4-star skills as well, you could argue more, but I do think it's a very good card that I'd probably go into the A+ just. We then have Acuna, very much like Trent. I like him in the middle. They did this to us because they gave him a shapeshifter, and I never want to look back. That 5-star, 5-star road, where's the green card? What was it? It was road to... Was it Euros or World Cup? I can't remember what it was. It was the green and kind of black card, I want to say. 5-star, 5-star, like 94 rated or 95 rated. Acuna in the midfield was insane. Now I can't see him as a left back. It's the same as Trent. It's the same as Atal. They need to be centre mid shapeshifters. It's what they've created. Pinged pass and whipped pass, very nice indeed. Decent across all the stats. Pace-wise is definitely a little bit under in my opinion, and he's kind of more of your fodder-based card. Same with Jordi Alba. Jordi Alba is one of them funny ones because in stat-wise is very good. In-game, I didn't find him as good, in my opinion. He doesn't have the weak foot. I really thought he would be better, but honestly, I think he was just a fodder filler. He's kind of that nostalgic name that brings you into him, but at 23,000, I really would take anybody else, in my opinion. One that really did do well is Maitland-Niles. I thought he was fantastic. We used him in the... I want to say we used him in the cup, I want to say the Ultimate Birthday Cup as my right back, 88 rated, great pace, across the board, everything. For a cheap card at a 4-star, 5-star with jockey and intercept, I think he's a brilliant investment into that cheapness. He's not going to be your top end, of course he's not. You're not going to buy anybody for 15 to 20 to 30k that's going to beat a Reece James, a Mendy, a Freeman. It just isn't happening. It most definitely isn't. One person who I forgot to put in here, I really thought I put Thunderstruck Frimpong in here. Apparently not. Or at least I can't see him just yet. We then have Boy. I think he's probably going up there, to be honest. He was actually really surprising compared to what I was kind of expecting from him. He is a Bayern lad, so naturally you're going to put him into that Bundesliga team. 268 still on the price, which is crazy. But he's got the jockey, which I do like on a right back. Slide tackle as well, which is going to be a very good combination. Unfortunately, he's a 5-3, which would put him down. But in terms of stats, I was very, very happy with him. The only thing I'd like a little bit more of was the composure for later on in the game. Right now, 85 can do you, but I know give it a week, give it team of the season, you're going to be needing higher at some point anyway. Cancelo, if we kind of go through a few of these now, Cancelo I'd drop him down. I'm surprised that he hasn't had anything else. This was from it was team of the group stage. So I'm surprised he hasn't had anything. He's had an inform, Trailblazer at the start, road to the team of the group stage, and then nothing. He's just fallen flat. Granted, he can have upgrades in terms of evolutions, but there isn't at the minute any. It was the Pep's Masterpiece or Pep's Management or something like that. Whatever, the Pep one you could have. You could put him into like a 91, 92, but also there was quite a few others. Walker, Alaba, that were in there that were very, very good as well. Ashley Cole, I'm going to go one down for me. I don't like him personally. I think people can argue that all they want. In my opinion, I really didn't like him. I'd definitely put Roberto Carlos over him. It just was kind of more of that icon favoritism, and Ashley Cole didn't do very well. Maybe if I use him again, he might give me a bit more of an opinion, but even now, I don't think the 89 is going to really come in clutch against anybody that we have got in that position now. Cuadrado. Going to take away his price because the price of him is what Reece James should have been. I get that he is a 5'5", it's brilliant. He's got the whipped pass slide tackle, decent combination, but I just don't think, especially if you're paying for a right back, I just don't see him being it. I wouldn't go S+ personally. You're playing for a right mid, maybe with the play style, with the chemistry style, you could argue. But 85, 81, I'm just not personally feeling it. You're going to look for something like a Sentinel for him, which is going to give him 92 defending, 85 physical. He is a 92 right back, but in my opinion, I just don't rate him as it. I think the expense really kind of comes off there, that it's just not... It's not worth the price. Whereas you look at someone like a Grimaldo, a little bit cheaper. Again, stat-wise, it's got the pace, 93, 97. There's going to be only a slight difference. You are not going to notice that much difference. If you had like the, what is it? He didn't have quick step, did he? He had slide tackle, whipped pass. If you had like quick step or rapid, fair enough. Then yes, you're going to notice a difference. But he doesn't. He doesn't even have any of them. So he's still going to be as quick, really. You've got anticipate and incisive for Grimaldo as well, which arguably, again, two very good play styles. 61,000. Decent pace. Defending and physical, both coming in at the same sort of level again. You go with the anchor. 89 defending, 86 physical. Turns him into a 91 rated right back. Oh, in fact, both. 91 right back or 91 left back. So, again, I think with that, I think it comes down to price and what the card actually does. Cuadrado has definitely not been what I remember him to be anyway, and that is just my opinion. Alphonso Davies, quite an easy one in the S. Think he's brilliant in game. I'd go down for his 87 to be an A+. I'd put Emerson up there as well. I think in game, much better. If you've used him, much better card, and still has the ability for the upgrades, I'm pretty sure. It was a road to the final. So they just need to keep going forward, and maybe we'll see the 90-91. It could happen. Teo.
If your team's looking like this, then I have the place for you. Head over to U7Buy for all your coin needs. They're cheap, fast, and reliable, but make sure to use JT11 at the checkout for 6% off all of your coin orders.
Don't know if I'd quite go his 88s into the S now, to be honest. I think they are up there. And I must admit, it comes to the factor of, it's quick step on the Playstyle Plus for that one, but the 88 doesn't have one. 3-star, 3-star. I could almost argue that the quick step could be worth it, but I'm going to personally go both in that A+. I don't think he's worth an S in my opinion. A quick step is not going to do me too much, so that just is what it is. Navas, I would drop down into the A now. I believe he was, again, another 3 card. They love giving us Spanish right backs, I must admit. Great pace, obviously whipped pass, 85-74 defending physical split. Just needed the upgrade, and I think that's where Bellerin stepped in to kind of take that position on. Rico Lewis, I've always put him in because I'm waiting for that evolution for him, because he definitely is not getting another card over this one. But once we get that evolution, that card could be brilliant. A very, very good Man City link if you wanted to as well. Baude, I'm going to go with the same. I never really rated his kind of start, to be honest. His gold was good for the pace that you got. Winter Wildcard was a nice little upgrade, was a little bit expensive, but 415,000 for this guy. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of pace abuse there. 76 on the physical. He's got himself the quick step intercept. Love the intercept, but really, I don't see the worth in him. Bompasta, quite an easy one, and same as Lizarazu. Whereas, when we do look at Lizarazu and also Bompasta's fantasy foot, Bompasta's card is insane with these upgrades. Like, genuinely, when you look at her card, because we're going to touch on it, with these two, I would go something like that. Because when you look at her and you think, okay, well, how could she be an S+? I'm like, look at them stats. 94 on the pace. Granted, I'm not too fussed about the shooting, but it's 91 anyway. 92 passing, 93 dribbling, 91 defending, and 84 physical. A 4-4, left-footed, which is perfect for the left-back role. Granted, she has got a lot of competition in the left-back. And this is where I said, with the right-back, there's not like a standard cheaper card where you're like, yes, I must have it. And it's kind of where Reece James has fallen into in the past couple of days. We'll kind of go into that. But in game, the lowest position she can go with no chemistry style added, is a centre-back at 89. The next one is a 90 striker. If we was to go with the anchor, what people are suggesting, you'd end up with the controlled explosive. And I've dropped down the page, which is brilliant. Can we get it back up? Beautiful. In then, if we change, the lowest position you get is a 91 striker, 96 left back or right back, 94 CDM, 93 centre mid, or 93 centre back. Incredible stats. 2673. Now, to put that into context, because granted with Rolfo, she can obviously change into a centre mid. Rolfo has 2597. And that just shows you the crazy amounts that you can get from her is unbelievable. Like, I don't think Rolfo was ever really in any question, but Bompasta's upgrade has really put an absolute monster of a card there. If you was to obviously do the chemistry style as well for Rolfo, you get 2642. So it is a very, very close race between the two of them, but there's a good 30 in-game stats different. Both of them insane. And if you're going to pick one, Bompasta left back, Rolfo in the centre mid. Easy. Molina, love the card. I think he's probably more into the A+. Pedro Porro, I think he's close. He's very, very close. I think a double upgrade and he would be in that S. I think right now he's kind of on that verge. He was the kind of right back I was using before Reece James, and that's going to be the problem. Reece James has just knocked him out of his spot, unfortunately. Singo can go into the A. Undogi, I did like him as a left back. I didn't use him for too long, so it's not like I can give an intense review on him, but I would say probably more A+ still. Carl Walker, unfortunately, he's waiting for evolutions, and that's about it. Jan, really like this card. I don't know if he's actually finished with his upgrades now. I feel like a lot of people have, so he might have done. But for what you're actually paying, 36,000 coins, rapid at intercept, decent enough, 4-star, 4-star, great pace, 84-82 defending physical, insane dribbling, a very good overlapping right back. So for me, the only thing that I kind of had a problem with was kind of that silver mentality. Sometimes when you get a silver and he goes up from a 72, which he is, to an 89, you sometimes have that silver tendencies. Maybe the reaction isn't quite as good as if you had someone like Teo Hernandez, say he was 77, he's a gold, then he went up to 89. You would definitely prefer the gold card. It's just sometimes how it works. Lucy Bronze can go into the A. Chilwell, decent card. I wouldn't quite go S, but very decent in himself. Sakina. Now, with Sakina, she was a brilliant team of the year. I think you couldn't argue. In form, triple threat, brilliant. Why on earth is she 500,000 coins? We have literally had Rolfo, who's a 93 for 600,000 with the stats that she has. We've then had a Reece James literally a day or two after for a third of the price. I don't understand why she's so much. She's got the rapid and technical, no defensive playstyles. She's very good in game, but for me, I just think that card is too expensive. And unfortunately, I'm not trying to rate these based on expense because that just wouldn't work. And she's a very good card, but for me, even at that sort of rating, I don't think I'd have done her. She's far too expensive. Matteson is incredible for the card. I know I've just given the whole speech about Jan, but Matteson has been tested and proven fantastic card. Alex Scott I'd put up there as well. Baka, I would probably go something like that for the 91. Very, very good card in itself. Roberto Carlos, quite an easy one, has got an SBC. Would say definitely the kind of base version is more S and trailing down, but the future star is impeccable. Lahm, as much as I like him as a CDM more, I think he works better in the midfield. As a right back, he's still not a bad option in his team of the year. Zambrotta, beautiful, been waiting for this card for a long time. Zanetti would definitely go again like Lahm in that centre mid role, but as a right back, he's got the goods, he's got the stats. Carfu definitely up there, other Carfu's going down, and then I don't think anybody can argue with Alberto. I personally would put him more as a centre back if I'm being brutally honest, but even if you've got your top two centre backs, say you've got a team of the year Rio and team of the year Van Dijk, you're going to put him right back, you're not going to not use him. But that's going to be the list. Let me know down below what you think, and I will catch you all for the next one. Let me know your fullbacks. Peace, check the videos on screen.